What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host, Vernon. This is Lake Devonian. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, it's been a while since I've uploaded any videos, and I want to thank you for being patient. And this time I've gotten a lot of logistics sorted, something like moving over my channel from the United States to Canada for tax purposes, and even stuff as simple as getting a driver's license. All of these things I got sorted in this time. But I did also say we'd do some ice fishing, and lo and behold, that's why we're out here today in minus 22 degrees Celsius weather for some ice fishing. Now the weather is rather ironic. Yes, it's very cold today, but it's not been a very cold winter thus far. And there are a lot of places that's supposed to be frozen, that's not frozen, and also a lot of places that has very little snow. And that's made it quite hard to do some ice fishing, but that is not the only reason for me struggling to do some ice fishing. I also don't have the gear or equipment needed. I don't have an auger, a sled, little shelter, heater, nothing like that. I have virtually no ice fishing gear except for some clothes. But as the saying always goes, if there's a will, there is a way. That is why I made my way out here to Fort Whyte again. Being a member here at Fort Whyte grants you the opportunity for them to use an auger, make some holes for you, and renting some gear from them. It just makes it a bit easier to go ice fishing, even though I don't have the proper gear yet. Now, I've only gone ice fishing once before. That was with John up at Panguitch Lake. There's a little card up here if you want to see that video. But when it comes to ice fishing, I am rather a novice. Now, I have been watching some videos to learn a bit from someone like Jay Simmons, someone that's actually from here and knows how to find big fish, that's guided in these places. I'm trying to learn from them, but my videos aren't like theirs, going out showing the fish I catch. No, rather I want to bring you along, take you through the process of learning how to catch fish. It's easy to see them catching big fish in their videos and think it's easy, but I want to see, is it really that easy? Going out there, trying the stuff to see what I can do to get on fish. But we're not going to catch anything just standing around. Let's get some lures into the water. Alright, so first things first, I have 3 little holes. You're allowed 2 rods, so I have 2 holes. The third one is for my little depth finder. Having never fished here before, I don't know a lot about this lake. I don't know how deep it is. This little thing tells me it's 35 meters. So it's a lot deeper out here than I thought it would be. I thought we're fishing in something like 12 meters, but we're out in 35 meters. I can also see we have some rocky bottoms. And I'll just leave that out there, maybe see if we get some marks, some fish swims by. On the first setup I have out here, this is my little dock runner. Not a true ice fishing rod and reel combo that I have here, but it should be fine to do the job. And on there I have a little mud minnow. You are allowed to use live bait in this particular body of water. And now we know it's 35 meters deep. So I'm just going to drop it down as far as it's willing to go. And then just slightly reel it up. We don't want it on the bottom, just slightly off of the bottom. So I have a little bell on there. If something grabs a little minnow, this thing will sound the alarm and we'll know we got something. So I'm using a little bucket to stop whatever it is from dragging everything into the water. I also have a little ladle. This is something that I'm renting from the place and using that to just keep the ice out of our holes. Because it is that cold, it freezes over quite easily. Just regularly have to remove some of the ice. Right, so I don't know all the fish that are in these waters. I don't know if the little minnow is something that will work right now. I'm hoping for maybe some pike or pickerel or walleye. But there's a big chance that the little minnow will not get eaten. So I have a different few sets of baits that we can use and try out there. But here in Manitoba, during ice fishing season, you're allowed a second rod. So great idea is to have a little bait out there, soaking, waiting for some fish to swim by, to find your little baits down there, And the second rod you can actively be fishing with. So I'm going to use a little trick. So I'm using a little lure I have with some bait fish on there. Just going to move it in the water column, see if we can get any reactions out of any fish. Now this lure is also a bit bigger than the one I want to be using. I don't think we have big fish out there willing to go for such a big lure. I think smaller would be great, but I don't unfortunately have any small lures, so I'll be using this, see if we get on anything. Now the idea with this little lure is going to be jigging it in the water column, having it flutter up and down, seeing if we can find any fish that's willing to actively go for it. There we are, ladies and gents, on my little minnow. We got ourselves a little yellow perch. Not a big guy, but the first fish for today. Don't want to keep him out for too long. Down the hole he goes. I've been getting quite a lot of little taps, and when I reeled in that one, we had that little fish on. So I didn't get that on the little camera. I'll try and do so again. But seeing how we're getting small tiny perch, I'm wondering if maybe we should try and drop down some night crawlers, see if that's an easier way to get on some of these perch. Alright, so I've been seeing the occasional fish on our little scope there. So now I finally know what the fish is that I'm seeing moving past. Little perch, little yellow perch. So let's get some baits down there, see if we can get some more. So this time around, I have a small piece of night crawler on there. See if that gets hit. Should be rather instant. If not, we know that's not what they're looking for. I don't know whether this is just the minnow swimming around or whether something actually has it. In my mind, any fish big enough to get a little minnow like that bend the rod entirely. So I'm not sure whether these yellow perch, whether they're too small to do that. I'm not sure whether they have the hook or only the backside of little fish. Maybe leaving it to get a better tug. That's maybe the way to go. There we go. Lovely little yellow perch with one minnow in his mouth. I'm using barbless hooks, but because they swallow this thing head first, they sometimes swallow the hook in very deep. Right, so we got our little hook out, little perch, getting back to the hole. And down he goes. Now at the moment it's supposed to be minus 15, and I can tell you this cold water takes a toll on your hands, but I have to take off the gloves to get out the little fish. Because my little lead weight gets stuck on the gloves if I don't take them off. But this is a nice size yellow perch. You can keep our little bait fish. Good size, good fish. Not the species I was hoping to get today, but happy to get on some fish at least. Down the hole he goes. It's funny that in 4 hours I haven't caught any fish, but at the moment we're doing pretty good. Seems like we got a feeding frenzy going. So while the fishing is good, let's drop back down there. Gonna give him the little minnow. Back down he goes. So I bought a bag of minnows, then it's gonna last very long. So while they are biting on the minnows, I'm happy to feed them. It's not taking long. Once I drop down, a few seconds, we get some hits. Another decent perch. Good look at the little fish. Don't want to keep them out for too long. Straight back down the hole he goes. Now I still have a few minnows left, but the bigger ones are the ones that's left. We'll see whether they work as well. Using barbless hooks so it's easy for the fish to get off the hooks. Down he goes. Getting to a point where these rubber on the gloves are starting to get sticky, sticking to everything. Now that's a nice one. Finally getting some decent perch. Had to go through all the small ones. Decent fish. Let's get him back to the water. And down he goes. Good little catch to end the video on. Nice big little perch. Alright, ladies and gents, I don't know whether this camera can pick it up. My entire face, my beard, my mustache is iced over. But yes, it's cold, but it was still fun. Now this is my first ice fishing session here in Manitoba, and it went pretty well. In my head, I was planning saying something like, it is my first time going out solo ice fishing. You would suspect me not catching any fish. But luckily I did get on some fish. Yes, these are not the biggest of fish, but I'm happy to get some fish out there at least. Now, from here on, we can only grow, get bigger fish, more exciting fish, and that's going to be the plan going forward, getting prepared, getting all the gear, and going out exploring different spots and finding some different fish. For the time being able to come here to Fort Whyte and actually get some holes in the ice and actually do some fishing out here, it's been a big help. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you don't have all the gear, all the equipment, but there is a will, there is a way, you can go out and do some fishing. Now, that being said, please do give me a thumbs up for getting some fish out there at least. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. And boom, the battery on that camera died. That's one of the things you need to understand. I'm still experimenting with the gear, finding the things that work. And that is also part of the reason why I'm doing these videos. Lots of people out there that actually want to do ice fishing, using my videos as a way to kind of teach people how to get out there and start fishing. So if any of that sounds good to you guys, please do hit the subscribe button and join my community. But alright guys, thanks for watching my little perch session out here. And like always, I'll see you guys next time.